Thank you for joining episode 5 of Priority Standing Podcast. My name is Tiffany, and I'm here with
Nicole.
What's up? What's up? It's J-Rod.
I'm Jen.
And I can't believe that we're already on episode 5. That's a little bit crazy to me, so yay us. So in case... we always have to do a bomb drop, just so you know. Nick is secretly the sound effects director.
I'm like Dougie Fresh over here. Like Bismarcky.
In case you're joining our podcast for the first time, we are 4 industry insiders journeying through our second decade working in this industry. And on this podcast, we'll be talking about the past, the future, and everything between when it comes to the fashion industry. On last week's episode, which was called Beat the Bots, which I think was my favorite title for episode thus far, I just have to say.
Thanks, J-Rod, for giving us that title.
Thanks, copywriter. So in last week's episode, we covered Fashion Week and how virtual shows are the new norm, or whatever the new norm for Fashion Week is right now. Crazy drops that sold out in a minute, hence Beat the Bots as our title, like the Pat McGrath and Supreme, and then Kim Jones' new appointment at Fendi. So if you missed it, go check it out. Please give us feedback. We love knowing what you guys think. And also call us out if we're being crazy, because sometimes we tend to be a little bit nutso. So give us all the feedback. We really appreciate that. So moving on to this week's episode, we're going to be talking about Emmys fashion, CFDA winners that were announced. Those nominations went out a while ago, and then they were just announced last week. So we want to celebrate our colleagues in the industry. And then, as always, we are going to have the winner of the week. And I think you guys are going to like the winner of the week this week. We'll see if we all agree on it. So I'm just going to start the conversation by saying my absolute favorite from the Emmys was Regina King in her Schiaparelli look. I love it. Humble brag, but everyone always says that my mom looks like Regina King. So happy birthday, Mom. Special shout out to you, Virgo Queen. Anyway, I love her look. It was like so dope. Everything from like the body, it looked amazing in it. The hair, like it was just a full moment. Like exactly what I was looking for when I was thinking of Emmys fashion. And then beyond that, I wanted to also say that when she won and she had her acceptance speech, she had on a Breonna Taylor T-shirt, making sure that we continue to say her name. So beyond her having that amazing Schiaparelli look, she then used her platform to continue the conversation about the things that really matter. So shout out to Regina King for doing that.
Yeah, that was really great. Actually, there was a few moments of people wearing either
T-shirts.
Like Black Lives Matter symbolism or T-shirts for Breonna Taylor, which I think is something great. Like you're on this national, actually, I feel like it's an international platform. So any moment that anyone can take to just make sure we're still saying her name, that we're not forgetting about her, that we're still fighting this fight, I think is really important. But sidebar, I also love Regina King, but I just felt like I just have to make a little I don't know, something I noticed, that everyone who came dressed was Black. Like, it was just straight up. I was just like, we were going through a list at work and be like, oh, who should we just say is best dressed? Like, could we do something? And I was like, I'm just going to say it. Everyone on our list is Black. There was Zendaya. We had Regina. We had Yara Shahidi, Jeremy Pope, Yaya. It was just like Black. Like, we came to get our awards. Issa Rae looked beautiful. That's who I was going to go with. In the Sergio Hudson, like that color, everything about it. She just looked like she was exuding happiness. I mean, her show was just nominated to the max, which was amazing. So I loved her. And I
love a Black show being nominated to the max with a Black.
Yes, but we also want those Black shows to be winning to the max.
We want them to win. And we don't want them just to be the presenters looking good and showing up. They need to also be getting the awards as well.
Yeah. I loved Jeremy Pope and his suit. He looked incredible. The Vuitton suit. It was amazing. It was like a patchwork brown, shades of brown with his bleached out hair.
His blonde hair, yeah.
I just felt like everyone was just like, okay, we've been at home. No one's been dressed up. No one's been on a red carpet. And people who came to kill it. Like Tracy Ellis Ross and that gold moment and that vintage Tiffany necklace.
God, the vintage Tiffany necklace.
Which brings me to another necklace. So I'm going to let someone else go to say who their favorite was because just the necklaces were also winning.
A good day for fine jewelry. Okay, my favorite, which I think everyone will agree was Zendaya. I mean, she had the Christopher John Rogers with the Bulgari necklaces. And then she changed into custom Armani. And
Armani Privé.
Oh, excuse me, sorry. Armani Privé.
Privé, if anyone doesn't know, is like couture, haute couture.
Haute couture.
You know, custom haute couture, Privé.
And she is just, in general, one of my favorite people when it comes to fashion because she just wears things with such... she wears things as if she loves fashion. Everything is so natural to her. You know, she's in an Armani polka dot ball gown skirt and it looks fantastic. And I think it's just, again, she's one of those people that it radiates whenever she wears it. You know, she's tall and she's so beautiful. And she also made history with this win. She was the youngest to win in that category. So she won
lead actress and
outstanding lead actress in a drama. And she's the second black woman to win. Viola Davis was the first.
Yeah.
She looked incredible. Like Luxury Law really killed it on both of those looks. When she came out in the Christopher John Rogers and that Bulgari necklace, I was like, what?
I know. Yeah. I know.
And then I was like, well, she don't need to change. And then when she won, and I was like, excuse me? Excuse me?
Yeah.
Wow.
I almost feel like when she won,
and a hair change.
Yeah,
well,
she put that hair on real quick.
Do the hair change too, yeah.
I think that's the good thing about Zendaya and her stylist. I feel like they go for the full look. So it's just not one thing that they think about. They don't just think about the shoe or the dress or the necklace. They think about everything, the beauty and the clothes, because everybody knows that the beauty is so important. So I agree.
The full thing.
Zendaya was incredible. She was definitely my favorite. And another beauty who is just so gorgeous is Yara Shahidi. I just think that her face and her skin glows
so
always.
Beautiful.
You know, she looked great with the cornrow.
That's that youth for you.
I was really into her beauty so much. But yeah, the girls, the young girls killed it.
Yeah, and Yara was wearing Prada.
She was wearing Prada.
Prada.
And I forgot to mention that Tracy Ellis Ross was wearing
Alexander
Vautier.
Yeah.
And she looked phenomenal. I'm trying to just think, like, everyone just really came when they dressed up. They came for it. Even, like, I loved, I don't remember his first name, but Levy from Schitt's Creek and the Tom Brown. And I was like, okay.
Oh, Daniel. Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel Levy.
I definitely think the men had a moment, too. Just like with the awards that just passed. What did we just cover?
The Grammys.
The VMAs.
The VMAs.
The VMAs, the men brought it. And the same thing with the Emmys. Like, the men are definitely giving looks as well.
Homeboy who was on Succession, and he had on like a monochrome gray look, that little gray and the little scarf. And I was like, wow, the men are coming for the women.
Yeah, they really are.
Billy Porter, I saw a picture of him in this white ensemble. I was like, I mean, just go ahead and have a wedding while you're at it, too. He looked amazing.
Well, I love that Billy Porter, like, when physically he's on the red carpet, it's like the minute he steps on the red carpet, like, everyone is, like, focused on him, and the photographers go there, et cetera. So I love that same energy was brought in this virtual world. The same with Zendaya as well. But definitely with Billy Porter, like, all those red carpet moments, I remember everything.
Yeah, I think it was good. Again, like going back to the point of like people dressing, I feel like we miss that. You know, life still has to happen. So everybody doesn't want to be in their PJs or just like loungewear. It's nice to have people dressing up.
And hair and makeup and glam and all of that.
Exactly. Like aspirational. Give us something to like look at and be excited about. So
I even think with street style not being a thing, because this in theory would have been like New York Fashion Week and then London Fashion Week, so we would be getting a lot of like images of people getting dressed up and having like that sort of like inspiration for us. Like that's just completely gone right now. And it's just like a season where you would expect to see all of it. So I think it was nice to have people, all the Black people at the Emmys show up and give us something to talk about, you know?
It's nice to get excited about something, you know? Anyway.
It really is.
So,
okay, go ahead.
So what's next? CFDA?
Yeah, I was going to say, but someone else, Jen.
Okay, so the CFDA Awards, which were announced last week. Very interesting, actually, because for those of you that don't know, the CFDA Awards are basically the Oscars for the fashion industry. So, you know, I have opinions about the CFDA. I think it's great. It's kind of, you know, kind of like the SAG union for the fashion industry. But I will say that a lot of times, every year, the same people are nominated and the same people win.
Yep.
Anyway, so this year was different. There were a number of Black designers that were nominated and won. And I just think that it's really nice for a change to change it up and open the door, because otherwise you just become, you know, becomes like, this is the analogy.
Fashion Groundhog's Day, where we're just
I'm going to use this analogy.
Of course they won again.
It's like yearbook. You know, it's like the yearbook always puts the same people in high school. It's like they would always put this, you know, everyone's friends in the yearbook, but it's like, no, actually, let's not do this. Let's have new people, which, you know, I want to say, wow, that wasn't so hard. You know, Christopher John Rogers, Telfar, Kerby of Pure Moss. You know, there were a lot of very talented designers that were finally recognized.
Kim Jones was in there again. You know, we love a Kim Jones moment. Pierre Paulo. Kim Jones won for Global Men's Designer for Christian Dior. Pierre Paulo won for Women's Wear Designer for Valentino. Christopher John Rogers won as American Emerging Designer. Telfar Clemens won for American Accessories Designer. And Kerby Jean-Raymond for Pure Moss won for American Menswear. So it was just like, wow. Well, the men really sweeped it up. And then Gabriella Hearst won for American Women's Wear. So it really seems like there's a big fashion moment in the men's world happening from all boards, from the actors to the designers.
I have to say that I actually, of all the nominations, yes, they're being inclusive. And yes, it's definitely a shift from the winners from what we've seen in past years. But I only was really surprised about Telfar in a good way, right? Like, I just think that was something that I wasn't, if you would have like said this to me like 6 months ago, I would have never guessed. Where like everybody else, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I think I was like the most excited to see that, because the momentum of what we see, like, and we had this conversation about Telfar and like changing the way you talk to your customers, and like the moment of like, you know, the way we're thinking about fashion and like direct to consumer, and like how he's really been innovative in that sense. And obviously the Telfar bag being like the Brooklyn Hermes bag or the Brooklyn Birkin bag, et cetera, like that, this feels like the right moment for that. So I personally was like the most excited about it. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but
I was really excited about that. I was also really excited about Kerby, because I just found it great, because he doesn't show with, even like before this all started, he doesn't really show with the fashion calendar. It's like, if he was inspired, if there was something for him to make, he's going to have a show, but he's not pressured to have, you know, in between seasons. He didn't have a fall collection. He did a spring one, and we were still all shooting it. And it's like he's able to see what is the need out there and do that. And then also work on social issues at the same time and really make an impact. So I thought that was really beautiful that they honored him for that.
And Kerby has been consistent from the beginning.
Yeah. And again, it shows as a whole to the CFDA and to the fashion industry that it is not so hard to think outside the norm and the box. You know?
All right, guys. So winner of the week. It's our favorite time. Let's see who you guys are thinking. I'm going to just randomly go for Tiff.
Randomly
Go for Tiff.
Wait,
what you
like
think?
Tiffany Reed, come on down.
Because I'm very excited about my winner of the week, because I like very audacious people. And so Bloomberg decided to donate $16 million or raise funds. I don't know if it was all his money or if he got all his rich friends to like put in a pool. But regardless, $16 million to pay off the legal fees of ex-felons so that they will be allowed to vote in the election in Florida. And as we know, Florida is a state that could be very tricky and can sway the election.
Swing state.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
And we
very
have no
tricky.
room for error this time, as we all know. So I appreciate someone doing something so obnoxious as that for the greater good. Okay. And I call that using your money and your power in the right way.
Right. And it's like putting your money in the right spot. You know, like everyone's talking and tweeting and Instagramming, but like, what are you doing? And he took action, like an actionable cause. Like, oh, these people can't vote. I have the money. It's like one of us being like, here's $1,000.
Right.
You know, or not even 1,000. It's like one of us being like 100. Here's $100. Like,
I think it was all his money. I think he has the money.
I'm pretty sure he does.
But and also it's kind of great because there's limitations on how much a single person can donate to an election, to a candidate. So he's using it and he's smart and it's almost like he's playing Trump's finance game. We're like, oh, I can't donate my $100 billion to Biden and Harris, but I'm going to use my money every which way I can to just beat this person. And I think that's great. He wins for me too.
And I think also like, and from the election last time, you know, a lot of people were shocked or people wonder how it happened. And it's like, it's money. And also, you know, I'll say this a million times, but this is the most important vote of our lives so far.
So far. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So far.
To be decided.
Our lives depend on this vote. And I'm really serious about that.
Does anyone else have a competing winner of the week to battle mine?
Gerard, you had a whole list of suggestions that you wanted to talk about.
My list is a bit too racy for a winner. This podcast.
For this PG rated podcast.
I think we all can agree that we all loved the October 20 GQ cover with Jonathan Majors. Just him in that stance with the beret and the fist. I mean, we need power right now. And I think that image is just so powerful. And also, he just looks so dope. You know,
the image is powerful, but also that
dope,
show.
You know?
Can we talk about that show real quick? Because
how much are we going to talk about it?
How much are we going to talk about it?
We have to wait for another episode.
I think we need to mention who styled and photographed. Wait, can we go back for a second? Because this is a pet peeve of mine. We need to give the photographer and the stylist their credit. That was Mobilaji at GQ, and the photographer was Shaniqua. Like, it was just... I just was like, wow. Like,
it was black.
Blackity black black. Because I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black black. It was beautiful and it was so captivating. I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
It was great.
I've actually personally gotten to work with him before, and he is a gem. We need to protect him at all costs. He's a major person. I was telling someone today, I watched a little video he did about a day in the life of him. I think it was on Vogue. And it was just like, he's like someone you want to be friends with, or like the person you'd like to be who goes to sleep at 8 p.m., wakes up at 4 a.m. to meditate. And it's just all like, there's probably like little birds flying around him. Like he's like Snow White, like they're like just whistling and he's just happy. And he just feels like he brings really good energy. So I was just like, wow, it was major, pun intended, just major.
Yeah, he's amazing anyway. He was so great in The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I love that movie. And that was the first time that I was introduced to him. And I think he's just incredible. I love watching Lovecraft every Sunday. It's one of my favorites.
I'm doing everything to hold back to talking about Lovecraft because we're going to do that.
Well, you know what?
Episode.
Maybe we should do a Lovecraft episode or just like a costumes episode. I think that's something that we can work on.
That's a great idea, Nick, Mrs. Champateur.
Because there's been some major moments out there in the world of costume
TV
design.
Has been good.
Major moments, yeah.
Okay,
so we're thank you guys. That was a fun episode.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next week or talk to you guys next week.
Thank you guys for joining Priority Standing Podcast. We're going to post. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, etc. So make sure YouTube, Instagram, every platform that ever existed. So please follow us, like, comment. We love your feedback. Thank you for joining episode 5 of Priority Standing Podcast, and tune in next week. Thanks, guys.
And make sure you're registered to vote. Everybody, register to vote.
Register to vote.
And if you got some legal fees you need to be paid off, call Bloomberg. See if he's still donating. Okay, we need everybody out here in the streets. You know, it's time for people to.
We need
out.
What's her name, Jennifer, being like in these streets.
Oh my God, I love Jennifer Lewis.
In these streets.